before God made a covenant with Abraham, Abraham was a Gentile. He was not an Israelite until the covenant. Then he became an Israelite.
Israelites came from his son, from the 12 tribes.
So, by me saying that, just because we are within the covenant, Abraham still was the father of us Israelites, even though he was a Gentile. So now the Gentiles now that has not received the covenant, how and what makes them a child of God? And we're being punished for the disobedience of our ancestors, our forefathers. Then what's going to be the difference if we still have to wait a certain period of time until it all changed?
Okay, first of all, we are our ancestors. We came back through regeneration. All right? So now, what the difference is that we are under grace, under Christ. All right? So coming back to regeneration, all right, gives us the opportunity to get it right. All right? Because when the day comes, when that sky cracks open, if you're still in the midst of wickedness and in the midst of sin, guess what? Your new name is charcoal. Let me get what you got? Grace. Yeah.
The book of Titus, chapter 2 and 11. For the grace of God that bringeth salvation hath appeared to all men.
So the grace of God has appeared to all men. So we all have the opportunity for grace. All right? Read.
Teaching us that denying ungodliness and worldly lust, we should live soberly.
All right. So we should live soberly, meaning according to God's laws. All right? That's the key right there. That's what makes the difference. All right? Keeping God's laws, statutes, and commandments. All right? Yes, sir.
Your question was, why should we pay for the sins of our ancestors, correct?
No. We are paying for the sins of our ancestors because they were disobedient. God told them that if they be obedient, then we would have been above every nation. But yet they was obedient. So now we are being held punished for their doing. Because if they was obedient, then we wouldn't be going through what we are going through today.
So you read the Bible, you know some stuff.
So I got a question. The question is this. What's going to be the difference, even though it's only for a certain period of time that we're going to be in this, what I call somewhat like slavery, up until that period of time when God decides to make it all right again. So what's going to be the difference between disobedience of our forefathers and the time where God decided to make it all right again?
Give me Matthew chapter 16, verse 28. Watch this, brother. Matthew chapter 16, verse 28.
Yes, sir. The book of Matthew, chapter 16 and verse 28. Verily I say unto you, there be some standing here which shall not taste of death till they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom.
So he said, when Christ spoke 2,000 years ago, he said there's some people standing here, they're not going to feel what death is like until Christ comes with his kingdom. You know why? Because like the brother told you before, our spirits get regenerated. You were here before. The church just don't teach you that. Give me Exodus chapter 34, verse 7. You were there back then. You are your forefathers. That's why when Christ came, he said there's people standing here, they're going to taste death when I return. Because Christ knew something we don't know. Our spirits get recycled. You die, you go to the Father, you get judged, you come back. You die, you go to the Father, you judge, you come back. Watch this.
The book of Exodus, chapter 34 and verse 7. Keeping mercy for thousands.
The Lord will have mercy on us. Read on.
forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin.
Because he's a forgiving God. He'll forgive us when we make up because we're human. Read on.
And that will by no means clear the guilty.
And don't let you off the hook. You still got to pay. You may not pay in this lifetime, but you'll pay in another lifetime. He's going to say it. Watch.
Visiting the iniquity.
Doing what?
Visiting the iniquity.
Because you asked about our forefathers. God will take that sin from them and visit the iniquities
of the fathers.
Of the who?
Of the fathers. Upon the children. And upon the children's children. Unto the third and to the fourth generation.
That's why we pay. You understand? Okay, good. So watch this, brother. It's a good time now for you to be alive because this generation is going to get everlasting life. Did you know that? You weren't made to get old and get sick and die. You were made to live forever. Give me Genesis chapter 6, verse 1. Watch this. I'm going to show you something the church don't tell you.
The book of Genesis, chapter 6 and verse 1. And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth.
This is the beginning of time when we started to multiply on the face of the earth. Read on.
And daughters were born unto them.
And we had women, children. Read on.
That the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair. And they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man.
Because we were made in the image and likeness of God. But God had a problem with our behavior and said, what? Read it again.
And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man.
We keep doing our own thing and not God's thing. There's a strife between us and God. Read on.
For that he also is flesh.
And in the flesh, we want to smoke, we want to drink, we want to get high, we want to have sex, we want to steal, we want to rob, we want to kill, we want to please our flesh. Read on.
Yet his days shall be 120 years.
So that's important because no human being passed 120 now. God cut our life short. When you read before that, they were living 500, 600, 700, 800 years. God cut our life short. We were made to be put on this earth and live a long, healthy, prosperous life. But because we sinned, God cut our lifespan short so that we die quicker, go before his throne, and he sends us back to the earth. Now he's breaking that cycle because his son is coming back to revisit the earth. So he said, Matthew chapter 10 verse 5, watch this. This is what we're out here doing. Matthew 10 verse 5.
The book of Matthew chapter 10 and verse 5. These 12 Jesus sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles.
The gospel is specific. He said, don't go to the Gentiles. Read on.
And into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not.
But go to who?
But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
You're an Israelite. You're not black, you're not African, you're not Negro. You are an Israelite. You are chosen of God. You a king. But this world, the people who control it says you a nigger. Because they don't know no better. When God punished us, he used them to punish us.
One last point. Abraham, the father of all nations. Before God made a covenant with Abraham, Abraham was a Gentile. He was not an Israelite until the covenant. Then he became an Israelite.
Israelites came from his son, from the 12 tribes.
So, by me saying that, just because we are within the covenant, Abraham still was the father of us Israelites, even though he was a Gentile. So now, the Gentiles now that has not received the covenant, how and what makes them a child of God?
Watch this. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 1. You ask a good question. You ask a good question.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
If we listen to what God says, read on,
to observe and to do all his commandments,
and we keep the laws that were given to us, read on,
which I command thee this day,
because God ordered a specific people to keep his laws, not the whole world. Read on.
that the Lord thy God will set thee on high.
On where?
On high.
On where?
On high. Above all nations of the earth.
So God wanted the Israelites to be above all nations of the earth, not on the same level. Right now on this earth, everybody's fighting for power. Why? Because everybody believes that they should be in charge. God set somebody in charge, the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, so this is God's decisions, not ours. God wanted the 12 tribes to rule, and we didn't listen. Go to verse 15. So this is what happened when we didn't listen.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses,
All these what?
all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So we're cursed people. That's why they're calling us niggas. That's why we're on the bottom. The people that are ruling now, they don't care about bringing you back to your heritage, to your identity, to your culture. So that's why Christ said, go and find the lost sheep of the house of Israel. When you were enslaved, you were renamed. Your land was taken, your heritage, your culture, your identity. They call you black, Negro, African, Nubian, everything except the 12 tribes of Israel. So God says in the last days, before he unleashes destruction on this earth, he's going to wake you up. So this is an awakening for you now. You're finding out you're great. You're finding out that you're better than what society has told you, even though we're on the bottom. Read that. Revelation chapter 2, verse 9.
The book of Revelation, chapter 2 and verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty.
We're in poverty now. We've been working. We're suffering tribulation and poverty. Read on.
But thou art rich.
Brother, I'm telling you today, you rich because you're part of the greatest lineage and heritage known to mankind. You're rich. Read on.
And I know the blasphemy.
Blasphemy means lies. Somebody told us lies. Read on.
Of them which say they are Jews.
There's people walking this earth saying that they're the real Jews.
And are not.
They are not the real Jews. They took this place by bloodshed, violence, by our blood, sweat, and tears. They stole our identity. They stole our land. They put us in the slums and in the ghettos. Read on.
But are the synagogue of Satan.
The Bible says that they're devils. People get mad when we say, you people are devils. We're not racist. We're reading what the Bible says. So what are we waiting on? Because you said we're on the bottom for what our ancestors did. 3 verse 9. Watch this.
The book of
Revelations 3 verse 9.
The book of Revelation, chapter 3 and verse 9. But behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee.
Because we don't feel like God loved us. But the prophecy is when Christ returns, he's going to shut this kingdom down and give us back control of the earth. Give me that in Isaiah chapter 14 verse 1. It don't look like it now. It look like black people are on the bottom. But the Bible says that things are going to change. This is the prophecy. I'm not making this up. Isaiah 14 verse 1.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob.
Even though it looks like God abandoned us, he's going to have mercy on us. Read on.
And will yet choose Israel.
He's going to choose us again back as his chosen people.
And set them in their own land.
Because when he destroys America, we're going to need a place to go. Our land is Israel. That's the mother of us all. That's what the Bible says. Read on.
And the strangers shall be joined with them.
We're going to have our people coming back because they're in strange ideologies, strange beliefs. They're calling themselves black, African. They call themselves all these names except the God-given name. They're in a strange behavior, strange mindset. Read on.
And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
They're going to come back to the house of Jacob, the house of Israel, the God of the Israelites. Read on.
And the people shall take them and bring them to their place.
And that's what we're doing now. We're putting our people back in their God-ordained divine place. Read on.
And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land.
So now people possess us. We're going to possess them. Read on.
In the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids.
So things are going to be reversed. They got us serving them. They got us bowing down to them. They got us believing that Christ is a white man with blonde hair and blue eyes. When the order is set up, it's because men of God are going to rise up. We're going to straighten our people up, tell them who they are, put a sense of pride back in them, and then the people who try to destroy us, what's going to happen to them? Read on.
And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were.
That's why God is going to weaken this earth. He's going to destroy it. That's why people are getting sick and dying. That's why there's wars, there's violence, there's fighting. Read on.
And they shall rule over their oppressors.
So we're going to rule over the people that's ruling us. It don't look like it now. It looks like we're just weak, we're insignificant, we don't know nothing, we ain't got nothing, but there's power in this book, brother. You a king, all right?
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.